Well, fine, good afternoon all. This is Patricia, and I am traveling for history. I am in New Haven, Vermont today, and the building in front of us, and I do apologize for the angle. Let me see if I walk to the edge, if this gives us a better look at the front of this building. I think you can guess by looking at it what kind of building it is, though, right? I have a smart audience. And let me back up some more. It's just so tall. This is the Union Church of New Haven Mills, Vermont, also known as the Union Church. So it was built in 1851 by Erastus Case. He used drawings of churches as well as some designs by Asher Benjamin, a prominent architect who wrote books about architecture, and Erastus Case created this church. So why did I just say I was in New Haven, Vermont, if the official name of this church is the Union Church of New Haven Mills, Vermont? That's a great question. Let me explain it to you. So New Haven Mills consisted of Munger Street, East Street, this is East Street right here, and River Road, which is right over there. As you may have surmised, well, River Road is named for the New Haven River. And what you may have surmised is that there were sawmills, grist mills, and other businesses along the river that took advantage of the power the water provided. And it was a thriving community for about 50 years until the late 19th and early 20th centuries. A fire ripped through and burned down the store and most of the businesses, but spared the church. And then after the fires came, the New Haven River flooded and took out the rest of the businesses. And after the businesses were gone, there really wasn't anything left except for the church. So New Haven, Vermont, New Haven Mills fell off the map, and New Haven absorbed this part of this other town. Now, the church itself was built in 1851, but the Queen Anne Tower at the top there, the belfry, that's a later addition, 1880s, 1890s, somewhere in there. The church is in the Greek Revival style. I love talking about the Greek Revival style. Unfortunately for you, I could talk forever, but fortunately for both of us, I only have so much time to film and so much space on my phone. So I'll spare you the blah blah. But let me just give you some things to look at so you can determine whether or not you are looking at a Greek Revival style building and impress your friends. Ooh, that's always fun. Alrighty, so this triangular piece up here, right? This piece right here, that's called the pediment. Now, on an ancient Greek temple, such as the Parthenon, the pediment would have had a frieze, but this one does not have that. In fact, most Greek Revival style buildings don't have that. And then we see this front door. Let me come up closer to it. The building is locked up. I'll tell you a little bit more about the church itself in just a moment. Now, these we would expect a very strong lintel. That's a lintel is the horizontal piece above a door or a window. So we would expect a very strong lintel. And we would also expect columns, but this does not have columns. It has pilasters. So these rectangular, pieces here on either side of the door, those are pilasters, which are columns built into a wall. And what I find interesting is this part right here, this center area right here. And as I back up again, ground is a bit uneven. Not as bad as the cemeteries I've been to, but still. What I find interesting about that void on both sides is that it imitates side lights. And I do wonder if there had been side lights originally on this building. So a side light is a window that lets in light. We can see from the sunlight that since the sun has been beginning to set, that the eastern sun would be coming up, of course, on this side, and would very likely light up the inside of the church. Let me show you the back end of the building. Oh, and the gable end. So this is the gable end of the roof. And let me just, I had a really hard time understanding the difference between the eaves and the gable, and didn't understand what I was being told years ago, what I had read years ago. And I hope to dispel some confusion on your part. So this end is the eave side of the roof. The long part of the roof is the eave. And the short end, which is the end that is pitched, is the gable end. This is like that part of that triangle right there. That's the gable end. Now, Greek Revival style typically faces the road, and it does face River Road. This is not always true, but it's true a lot of the time. Again, let me take you to the back of the building. And now, admittedly, I am too short to be able to look in. I was here Saturday evening, but unfortunately, it was too late to film. The sun had already set. And I don't know if you can see anything in there, but the ceiling is a pressed tin ceiling, also a 19th century edition, just like the Queen Anne style belfry. But we can see maybe some of the damage right there. The plaster's missing off the walls. That wall anyway. Oops. I'm not even sure you can see anything since the sun is glinting so on the glass. But when we walk around the other side, it's in shade. Hopefully something. And I know on the other side, I came around the other side earlier, and I could see in, just not on my, I can't even reach my tippy toes. All right, just about to the back end of the building. We notice pilasters also on both ends. So on each corner, there is a pilaster. All right, let me take a few steps back on this road here to take in the entire back end of the church building. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, we can see the pilasters on both sides. You know, given that void is on all of them, I guess it's just a stylistic element, but it does look like sidelight. So looking at the roof line again, we can see these pieces that are right there and right there. If I saw those on a building, I would think Greek Revival style, because it's just a matter of connecting a piece of wood across the two, and you have another pediment back here. So some things to look for: columns or pilasters in this case. These pieces here on the gable end. The pediment we saw at the start. Beautiful elements of Greek Revival style. All right, and as we come around this side, we can see an organ right here. And we can also see the ceiling quite a bit better. Beautiful ceiling. I mean, it certainly needs at least a paint job, but overall, looks like it's in good shape. Oh, I didn't even notice the emblem in the center. Let me see. That square right there. Let me see. Right there. That square right there, that's an emblem. Anyway, love that. We can see that the church building is painted, which is fantastic. Pictures I saw online, the church was in need of a paint job. And then, let's see over here. What can we see? More of the pressed tin ceiling. I know there's a reflection. We can see that it's kind of hard to see, but this section of the wall needs plaster on the lath. L-A-T-H, that's what those strips of wood are called. If you are looking at a wall that's been plastered, drywall does not have lath. And then over here, we can see better how this side needs plaster on the walls. And even, well, it's hard because of the reflection. I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. Right here, it needs plaster as well. But look at the beautiful woodwork right there. Isn't that gorgeous? 1851. So, what's interesting about this church, and this was the first time I had heard this term, it's used seasonally, so it's a seasonal church. It's used in the warm weather for weddings, as a music venue, for different events that don't require a lot of space. It's a one-story building, and then it has the belfry on top. But I had read, and I think it was 2016, on a blog called Preservation in Pink. Who doesn't love that name? Preservation in Pink. She has awesome photos of abandoned buildings and buildings that really deserve to be preserved. But she was saying that this building is used seasonally. And if you look on Facebook, Union Church on Facebook, I think the latest post there might have been, 2014 maybe? And they talked about all the music they were having here. So, but on the Preservation in Pink website, blog, she had said, she's on WordPress, she had said that there was no electricity and there are no systems here, so there's no heating systems. The original kerosene lamps are still attached to the walls. I personally, I think that's amazing, but you know, I'm also easily amazed. Look at this wonderful stonework at the bottom too. That's just beautiful. Sturdy, strong, lovely. Mr. Case outdid himself. All right, so that's really all I was going to tell you about this church. I think it's, I just think it's beautiful, truly. And it's great that this was the one building spared when the fire came through. All right, let me give you one more shot from a distance, and we can look at the beautiful trees right in front of us. This is a picture postcard, isn't it? Yes, indeedy. All right, so this is Patricia. I'm traveling for history. Until we meet again, you have a great day. Bye.